Hey YouTube, my name's Jennifer, the better half of Jeeping with Jen and John, or so I would like to think. Today we're going to talk about the high lift jack and its applications for use on your particular vehicle, whether it be a Jeep. I don't know, is there anything other than a Jeep? In any case, what we're going to do is show you the different applications with the different adapters that you have for your vehicle. Now, if you have a stock vehicle, a high lift jack may not be usable for that unless you have a specific adapter for that vehicle. Now, what we have are certain adapters that are used for my Jeep and certain ones that can be used for John's Jeep. So depending on which vehicle you have, that's the type of application or adapter that you would use. What we have for mine, that I got off of jeepsneeds.com, is a D-ring adapter that hooks onto your D-ring as well as your high lift, making it so it's more stable and less likely to fall off of your high lift. I also have the High Lift brand bumper attachment. So if you have, say, a specific bumper that has a lip that the hook can clip onto that lip and pull up with that with your high lift. And so now what I'm going to do is show you how the application works for my Jeep, and then we'll go into how it works for John's Jeep. This is my hood-mounted high lift, and my lovely assistant John to help me remove my hood-mounted high lift, because having two people take it off is so much easier and safer than one. Plus, I'm too short. So basically, we just remove the what is it? The twisty knobs. And we lift at the same time and scoot, 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 bringing it down. I lift.
Alright, first thing, because we have the emergency like jaws of death, so you have to remove that to utilize the high lift in this application. All this stuff on the bumper back. Remove her donut that keeps the handle from rattling. These are all little extra doodads here. Okay. Now this design has a hook. See that hook? So when you put this in the D-ring, this hook catches the D-ring, and the jack lock it all together. With a pin. So essentially now, the high lift and her Jeep are pinned together. You chock your tires. Alright, this is essentially locked in place. Let's see how she does. without this doohickey, we couldn't jack from the front bumper with a high lift. We'd have to, we'd need a, it would just, it would be a pain in the butt. I don't think we could do it safely. Yeah, that front tire is off the ground. And we're at an angle here. Tires off the ground. That's how locked the high lift is to the truck. So that's how important this little doodad is if you're going to use a high lift to jack up. But most of us have aftermarket bumpers of some sort that have the D-rings front and back. This is the safest application of a high lift that I have found that we will use and have used. Is this from what company?
Jeepsneeds.com.
Jeepsneeds.com. Those guys. It's not cheap, but it is made in USA. Alright, that concludes the demonstration on the front bumper. You guys want to see the back bumper? Same thing, D-ring, same adaptation. Oh, we could do it. I don't like this thing, that's why we've never used it.
Oh yeah, that's just kind of like just in case.
If somebody else, we have to jack them up, we might use it, but we've never used it on our own. We prefer this method.
I do, it locks it into place much
This
better.
is just so, I'm on dirt, I'm uneven, we're on a front yard slope, so that's how you can get your tire up on uneven ground with a high lift with this doohickey. Alright, now let's take her down. You always want to remain clear of this bar because that's where all the kinetic energy goes. If this releases, boom! Generally right now, we're all pressure's off and we're at the bottom. Clip. Do it again. And then we'll leave this all apart with the emergency stuff apart so we can show you demonstration how to use it on the JL, what we've done, so we can utilize the high lift on both our Jeeps. We only carry one high lift, just on Jennifer's Jeep. So that's why we travel as a pair. We're our own recovery team. We each carry different gear. So the high lift is part of the gear Jennifer carries. And we're going to show how we will utilize it on the JL next. Alright, now say you were in a stock JL, Rubicon with the option steel bumpers, and you wanted to use a high lift jack. Where are you going to lift this from? It really isn't. Everything's rounded and slanted. There's no surfaces here that will be safe to use a high lift. Even the hook, well, maybe you get hooked there, I mean, but that sure looks like it puts the high lift right in your light, doesn't it? So there's nowhere with the skid plate, everything, there's nowhere to lift a JL on a stock JL. And the rear bumper, I definitely wouldn't want to hook the rear bumper and lift off the rear bumper. I mean, you've seen that rear bumper, how it pretzels around. It's I wouldn't advise it, that's for certain. So let's show you how we have adapted our JL to accommodate utilizing the high lift jack to jack our wheels up. So being as we noticed, we already had the high lift on the JK, and when we purchased the JL, we started looking at the JL, and there was really no way we could use the high lift. So how we overcame that, so we could still carry one jack and be useful for both Jeeps, as we purchased these JCR Crusader sliders. And they come with this nifty little cutout here, and they call it a jack hole. So if any of you guys have friends that are jack holes, you tell them there's one right there. Okay, now the tires are chalked in the back. And this is how you would demonstrate how you would jack up a JL with these. Again, keeping your face away from the handle, because if you don't make that click and it slips out of your hands, all that goes up. Alright, look at that. That is a useful jack point that's been incorporated into our JL, that we can get the tires off the ground and change a tire safely without having to worry about, even with poor soil conditions on unlevel surfaces, we can jack up all four corners and get each tire off the ground. I can show you a little bit of the rear bumper, but if anybody's familiar with a JL rear bumper, if the option steel rear bumpers I got bend around like a pretzel noodle, I don't even imagine what the plasticky, even more stocker ones on like the Sport. I think they have a much lesser bumper than the steel bumper. If I don't trust the steel bumper, I certainly wouldn't trust a high lift on the stock bumper. Alright, so now we got our tire changed and we put a new tire on. Let's drop her down. We gotta give the old baby a click here. Alright, now we're in down mode, and it's kind of going to lift up one watch. Lifts up, and then it brings her down. Pull this out, the handle's going to slide all the way to the ground, and then you lock it. Now it's ready to come up for next time. And that's how we utilize the high lift jack. And if you notice, none of the options that we use are stock. None of them. We've used aftermarket, very expensive aftermarket gadget. That the money spent on this gadget, to me, is well worth the feeling of safety you have when you utilize it. The best investment ever made for feeling safe while changing a tire, especially the uneven surfaces we've encountered out on the trail. This, if you have D-rings front and back on your Jeep, which the majority of Jeeps do, this item with the high lift jack makes these two awesome trail jacks. The other options, if I had to in an emergency, the reason we keep this in the Jeep is just in case we get somebody that we have to try to use a hook on, we have it. Otherwise, I don't. The other ones is the straps to hook on the wheels with the hooks. That's something personal. If you have a wheel that you don't mind strapping up or hooking up and jacking your Jeep up, then that's a good safe place to jack it up. Then you have to put something underneath the axle set it back down, take the jack away, change the tire, put the jack back into position on the other tire to rejack. So it's a little bit this, you know, the jack's there, the wheel comes off, the other wheel goes on, the jack never gets moved. A little bit of a time saver compared to the jacking by the wheels. And I think on the JL stock, almost any, even the JK stock, there really is no jacking point for a high lift until you do some aftermarket, get some adapters or contraptions or gizmos. You have to have something in conjunction with your farm jack to jack up your truck. It isn't just go stick it on your bumper and jack it up anymore. You really, to be safe on the trail, you need to have something. This is the way we do it, and we have utilized this for quite a few years, many years, and it has been very successful. And then now the JL, we've showed you how it works very, very nicely with the JCR jack holes on the boat side bump. These boat sliders are solid all the way underneath, totally solid. I couldn't use a hook on these. The other ones they have, like this one, you can flip it over, and if you want, you can use it on a rock rail. You know, it's a tube, and I wouldn't. That's not the best, the most ideal way to use it. But if in a pinch you had to do something like that, it does have that option too. So those gives us 3 different options on our high lift jacks. That we utilize 2 of them to jack up our vehicles. We take a third for in case somebody else's vehicle, we can help out. And I just wanted to mention, and we wanted to do a video, that just buying the high lift jack for your rig, mounting it, you know, you got all these cool mounts, you know, you can mount it up here like this and such. It looks cool and it's great. It's heavy. That's why we only carry 1. And if you don't have no place to utilize it, you're carrying around an anchor that you can't use. So that's why we wanted to demonstrate, making sure you knew what you needed to utilize a high lift jack safely. Thank you for watching our channel. Like, subscribe, comment. Thank you very much. Peace.
Bye.